As we understand that concept, and I know it is very way out, and again, I always tell you in all my lectures, there's no truth until you decide what truth is, but I think you'll find the more you do research, the more you respect and like mine. But I'm always interested in more information. If you have any to lend, please contact me. I don't want to be ignorant. I love to be intelligent. I can only be so with information, backup information. In Illinois, right across from that wonderful area, there is a place called the Cahokia Mountains. The legends about that are replete with all kind of interesting terrestrial and artifacts and so on again like this. They have a huge pyramid down there, the base of which is larger than the one on the Giza Plateau, right down here in southern Illinois. They also have a very interesting chamber within one of the larger pyramids there, and it has a series of concentric spear heads, all made, I think it's 13 of them if I remember correctly. In the center was a burial tomb. Something was buried there. And around it, in concentric circles, were made up of spearheads. Each spearhead were made of different materials, represented a different tribe, life form, native population, if you would. And they were there showing that they came to honor whoever it was that was buried in the middle there of this pyramid, and that they came from the far reaches of our planet. Because the spearheads are there, and the construction and composition of them, it shows that they came from as far west as you might as well say, if you want to go westward again, as parts of Europe. They came from the Near East, which always means what? Africa. They came from parts of China. They came from parts of South America. How did they get here? Why did they get there? And why did each one lay their own recognition symbol that they had attended the burial or whatever happened of this particular person? It's still down there for you to see. At least it was. I hope these things continue to be artifacts that can be visited. But who or what was buried there? Also interesting, as in Cahokia. It's now been made between Collinsville and Edmondsville. What's interesting there is a state park now. Wildlife preserve, not allowed to take things in and out of there. Huge terrain, including many caves. There are all kind of caves, all kind of strange rock formations there, all kind of inscriptions on some of the terracotta that is there. There have been said to have been seen great birds flying in and out of these caves. I don't mean like an eagle or a condor. Huge birds flying about. Some people said, well, the legends of the bird led to legends of UFOs flying without. They've had both. Strange-looking birds, almost like pterodactyls, and lights that seem to fall from the sky and go into some of these huge caves. And some caves, they said, even seem to open up as the lights approach. Strange legends about whooping sounds, they said, made possibly by whooping cranes. And all kind of stories of the Native Americans there about how this was sacred ground. And if you actually climb on the ziggurat, because there's a step pyramid that's down, if you climb up again, you can begin to look over 3 states from its top. I climbed it, you can see so. This is a wonder right in our own state. Also, you see little indentations and scribings on the stone itself as you climb up. Maybe it didn't say like Kathy loves Mary or John loves Bess or something like this. And very interesting cuneiforms on there if you would. The legends abound in that area, and we have to now branch off into the neighboring state, of course, of Indiana. And that is that who or what built them, how long were they built, and why did they end there? And I say they end there because they are part of what is called the famous Snake Mounds. They go all the way from Pennsylvania across the Ohio Valley, and these mounds of elevated rock and shell, and so in there with this huge pyramid there. Snake mounds seem to wander through 3 or 4 different states, and they've often asked who built them, why did they build them. It looks like almost a big worm that's crawled over the eastern, northeastern portion of the United States that ends up right there in Cahokia State Park. We now understand that even though some of the Native Americans refer to themselves as Indians, they could not have been Indians. Why? Because Indians came from where? India. Native Americans didn't say they migrated from India, so why did they call them Indians? Well, that gets to be an easy story solved quickly. Columbus said that they were Indians because he supposedly went to the East Indies, or was it the West Indies, and discovered the Indians, so he named them that. And of course, once he told them that that's what they were, since he was a great white father, they all agreed that they would be called Indians. Believe that history? But still taught in school. It's the truth. I haven't exaggerated anything. I make humorous of ludicrousness. Ignorance I make fun of, but at the same time, that's the story that's still told. Quite obviously, either these people forgot who they were brainwashed, or made to accept a title that was not theirs for one reason. Then you don't know who they really were. We're always told also that the Indian is a red man. Menominee comes in yellow, white, red, brown. You even heard about some green ones. I don't really know. But I'm simply saying they are so-called Indians. Obviously, Indians is a metaphor conclusively reaching over a people that were here. Now, what have they said about themselves? They've said that one of the great gods came down there, and when he finally left, and they called it a he-she because he was a hermaphrodite, he was neither male nor female, but gave him great instructions, and gave many of the tribes of the nations there great instructions as to how to use these crystals and how to use these energies that were down there to heal with, to do psychic things with, and to state that again that there were more, I guess, things happening here than they realized, and so they gave the god a name, if you would. Indians is not the names of the people that were here, and I prefer to state again that whatever the names of the people that were here, they have also Olmecan-type statues, along with the so-called more Native American-type facial headgear. They understand also that among the Atomis, among many of the Native Americans, again, there were Negroid-looking peoples. Why do I always refer to this? Because the only thing left out of history is Negroid-looking peoples, except as slaves. And I'm trying to tell you that if the face on Mars is that of a black woman, then surely the Martians didn't just come here for nothing, or people didn't leave here from Africa and go up there and build. As stated many times, all Negroid-looking people did not come from Africa. They came from everywhere on the planet. You're made to look at Africa. Therefore, you don't look at the planet as a scope, and therefore you lose heritage.